41 Pinchas Phinehas. Pinchas, Phinehas, Parashah 41 Pinchas, Phinehas, Torah B'midbar, Numbers, 25:10-31, 29:40, Haftarah Lachim Alef, 1 Kings, 1846-1921, Pirit Hadashah Mattityahu, Matthew, 26:130, Mark 14:126, Luke 22:120, Yochanan, John, 2:13-22, 7:113, 37:39, 11:55-12:1, 13:1, 18:28, 39, 19:14, Acts 2:1-21, 12:3-4, 25:6, 16, 27:9-11, 1 Corinthians 5:6-8, 16:8, Messianic Jews, Hebrews, 11:28, Torah B'midbar, Numbers, 25:10-31, 29:40, 25:10 Adonai said to Moshe, Pinchas the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the Cohen, has deflected my anger from the people of Israel by being as zealous as I am, so that I didn't destroy them in my own zeal. Therefore say, I am giving him my covenant of shalom, making a covenant with him and his descendants after him that the office of Cohen will be theirs forever. This is because he was zealous on behalf of his God and made atonement for the people of Israel. The name of the man from Israel who was killed, put to death with the woman from Midian, was Zimri the son of Salu, leader of one of the clans from the tribe of Shimon. The name of the woman from Midian who was killed was Cosbi the daughter of Tsur, and he was head of the people in one of the clans of Midian. Adonai said to Moshe, treat the Midianim as enemies and attack them. Because they are treating you as enemies by the trickery they used to deceive you in the Peorah incident and in the affair of their sister Cosbi, the daughter of the leader from Midian, the woman who was killed on the day of the plague in the Peorah incident, after the plague. 26:1 Adonai said to Moshe and Eleazar, the son of Aaron the Cohen, take a census of the entire assembly of the people of Israel 20 years old and over, by their ancestral clans, all who are subject to military service in Israel. Moshe and Eleazar the Cohen spoke with them on the plains of Moab by the Yarden across from Jericho, explaining, those 20 years old and over who came out of the land of Egypt. As Adonai ordered Moshe and the people of Israel, the census results begin with Reuben, the firstborn of Israel. The descendants of Reuben were of Hanok, the family of the Hanoki, of Palu, the family of the Palu, of Hetzron, the family of the Hetzroni, and of Carmi, the family of the Carmi. These were the families of the Reuveni. Of them were counted 43,730. The sons of Palu Eliav, and the sons of Eliav and Mule, Datan and Aviram. These are the same Datan and Aviram, men of reputation in the community, who rebelled against Moshe and Aaron in Korach's group, when they rebelled against Adonai. And the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up together with Korach when that group died, and the fire consumed 250 men, and they became a warning sign. However, the sons of Korach did not die. The descendants of Shimon, by their families, were of Enmuel, the family of the Emuli, of Yamin, the family of the Yamini, of Yakin, the family of the Yakini, of Zerach, the family of the Zeraki, and of Shaul, the family of the Shauli. These were the families of the Shimoni, 22,200. The descendants of Gad, by their families, were of Tzphon, the family of the Tzphoni, of Hagi, the family of the Hagi, of Shuni, the family of the Shuni, of Ozni, the family of the Ozni, of Eri, the family of the Eri, of Erod, the family of the Erodi, and of Eri, the family of the Erili. These were the families of the sons of Gad, according to those counted of them, 40,500. The sons of Yehuda Thirster and Onan, Peter and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Yehuda who had descendants were of Shelah, the family of the Shelani, of Peretz, the family of the Partsi, and of Zerach, the family of the Zeraki. The sons of Peretz were of Hetzron, the family of the Hetzroni, and of Hamel, the family of the Hamuli. These were the families of Yehuda, according to those counted of them, 76,500. The descendants of Issachar, by their families, were of Tola, the family of the Tolai, of Puva, the family of the Puni, of Yashav, the family of the Yashuvi, and of Shimron, the family of the Shimroni. These were the families of Issachar, according to those counted of them, 64,300. The descendants of Zebulun, by their families, were of Sered, the family of the Sadi, of Elon, the family of the Eloni, and of Yakleel, the family of the Yoklili. These were the families of the Zebuloni, according to those counted of them, 60,500. The sons of Yosef, by their families, were Manasseh and Ephraim. The descendants of Menashe were of Maki, the family of the Machiri. Maki was the father of Gilead, the family of the Gileadi. These are the descendants of Gilead of Iezer, the family of the Iezri, of Helek, the family of the Helki, of Asriel, the family of the Asrieli, of Shittem, the family of the Shitmi, of Shmida, the family of the Shmidai, and of Hefer, the family of the Hefri. Tzlofchad, the son of Hefer, had no sons, but did have daughters. The names of the daughters of Tzlofchad were Makla, Noah, Hogla, Milcah and Tirzah. These were the families of Menashe. Of them were counted 52,700. These are the descendants of Ephraim, by their families of Shutelach, the family of the Shutalchi, of Becher, the family of the Bakri, and of Tachan, the family of the Tachani. These are the descendants of Shutelach of Aaron, the family of the Aaroni. These were the families of the descendants of Ephraim, according to those of them that were accounted, 32,500. These were the descendants of Joseph, by their families. The descendants of Benjamin, by their families were of Bela, the family of the Bali, of Ashbel, the family of the Ashbeli, of Achirim, the family of the Achirimi, of Shephuthim, the family of the Shuphami, and of Hupham, the family of the Huphami. The sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman, of Ard, the family of the Ardi, and of Naaman, the family of the Naami. These were the descendants of Benjamin, by their families. Of them were counted 45,600. The descendants of Dan, by their families, were of Shocham, the family of the Shochami. These are the families of Dan, by their families. All the families of the Shochami, according to those of them that were accounted, were 64,400. The descendants of Asher, by their families of Yimna, the family of the Yimna. Of Yishvi, the family of the Yishvi, and of Beriah, the family of the Berii. Of the descendants of Beriah of Heather, the family of the Heri, and of Malkiel, the family of the Malkili. The name of Asher's daughter was Sirach. These were the families of the descendants of Asher, according to those of them that were accounted, 53,400. The descendants of Naphtali, by their families of Yachtzeel, the families of the Yachtzeli, of Guni, the family of the Guni, of Yetzah, the family of the Yitzri, and of Shilem, the family of the Shilemi. These are the families of Naphtali according to their families. Those of them that were accounted were 45,400. Thus those who were counted of the people of Israel numbered 601,730. Adonai said to Moshe, the land is to be parceled out among these as a possession to be inherited, according to the number of names. To those families with more persons you are to give a greater inheritance, and to those with fewer you are to give a smaller inheritance. Each family's inheritance is to be given according to the number counted in it. However, the land is to be awarded by lot. They will inherit according to the names of the tribes of their ancestors, but the inheritance is to be parceled out by lot between the families with more and those with fewer. Those counted among the Levi, by their families, were of Gershon, the family of the Gershuni, of Kehat, the family of the Kehati, and of Imreri, the family of the Imreri. These are the families of Levi, the family of the Libni, the family of the Hebroni, the family of the Makli, the family of the Mushi, and the family of the Korki. Kehat was the father of Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Yaakov, the daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt, and she bore to Amram Aharon, Moshe and their sister Miriam. To Aharon were born Nadav, Avihu, Eleazar and Itamar, but Nadav and Avihu died when they offered unauthorized fire before Adonai. Those males 1 month old or more counted of the Levi were 23,000. These were not included in the census of the people of Israel, because no land for inheritance was given to them among the people of Israel. These are the ones counted by Moshe and Eleazar the Cohen, who took a census of the people of Israel in the plains of Moab by the Yarden across from Jericho. But there was not a man among them who had also been included in the census of Moshe and Aharon the Cohen when they enumerated the people of Israel in the Sinai desert. Because Adonai had said of them, they will surely die in the desert. So there was not left even one of them, except Caleb the son of Yefuneh and Yahashua the son of Nun. 27 One of the daughters of Tzlofchad the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Menashe, of the families of Menashe, the son of Joseph, approached. These were the names of his daughters Makla, Noah, Hogla, Milcah and Tirzah. They stood in front of Moshe, Eleazar the Cohen, the leaders and the whole community at the entrance to the tent of meeting and said, Our father died in the desert. He wasn't part of the group who assembled themselves to rebel against Adonai and Korach's group, but he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be eliminated from his family just because he didn't have a son? give us property to possess along with the brothers of our father." Moshe brought their cause before Adonai. Adonai answered Moshe, "The daughters of Tzlafchad are right in what they say. You must give them property to be inherited along with that of their father's brothers, of what their father would have inherited passed to them. Moreover, say to the people of Israel, if a man dies and does not have a son, you are to have his inheritance passed to his daughter. If he doesn't have a daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father doesn't have brothers, give his inheritance to the closest relative in his family, and he will possess it. This will be the standard for judgment to be used by the people of Israel, as Adonai ordered Moshe. Adonai said to Moshe, "Climb this mountain in the Avarim range, and look out at the land which I have given the people of Israel. After you have seen it, you too will be gathered to your people, just as Aaron your brother was gathered. Because in the Tzin desert, when the community was disputing with me, you rebelled against my order to uphold my holiness by means of the water, with them looking on. This was in Rivot Kadesh spring, in the Tzin desert." Moshe said to Adonai, "Let Adonai, God of the spirits of all human beings, appoint a man to be over the community, to go out and come in ahead of them, to lead them out and bring them in, so that Adonai's community will not be like sheep without a shepherd." Adonai said to Moshe, "Take Yahushua the son of Nun, a spiritual man, and lay your hand on him. Put him in front of Eleazar the Cohen and the whole community, and commission him in their sight. Delegate to him some of your authority, so that the entire community of Israel will obey him. He is to present himself to Eleazar the Cohen, who is to find out by means of the Urim what Adonai's will is for Yahushua's decisions. Then, at his word they will go out, and at his word they will come in, both he and all the people of Israel with him, the whole community." Moshe did as Adonai had ordered him. He took Yahushua, put him before Eleazar the Cohen and the whole community, laid his hands on him, and commissioned him, as Adonai had said through Moshe. 28:1 Adonai said to Moshe, "Give an order to the people of Israel. Tell them, you are to take care to offer me at the proper time the food presented to me as offerings made by fire, providing a fragrant aroma for me. Tell them, this is the offering made by fire that you are to bring to Adonai male lambs in their first year and without defect, 2 daily as a regular burnt offering. Offer the one lamb in the morning and the other lamb at dusk, along with 2 quarts of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with 1 quart of oil from pressed olives. It is the regular burnt offering, the same as was offered on Mount Sinai to give a fragrant aroma, an offering made by fire for Adonai. Its drink offering is to be 1/4 hin for 1 lamb. In the holy place you are to pour out a drink offering of intoxicating liquor to Adonai. The other lamb you are to present at dusk. Present it with the same kind of grain offering and drink offering as in the morning. It is an offering made by fire, with a fragrant aroma for Adonai. On Shabbat offer 2 male lambs in their first year and without defect, with 1 gallon of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with olive oil, and its drink offering. This is the burnt offering for every Shabbat, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. At each Rosh Chodesh of yours, you are to present a burnt offering to Adonai consisting of 2 young bulls, 1 ram and 7 male lambs in their first year and without defect, with 6 quarts of fine flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering for each bull, 4 quarts of fine flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering for the 1 ram, and 2 quarts of fine flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering for each lamb. This will be the burnt offering giving a fragrant aroma, an offering made by fire for Adonai. Their drink offerings will be 2 quarts of wine for a bull, 1 1/3 quarts for the ram, and 1 quart for each lamb. This is the burnt offering for every Rosh Chodesh throughout the months of the year. Also a male goat is to be offered as a sin offering to Adonai, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, is Adonai's Pesach. On the 15th day of the month is to be a feast. Matzah is to be eaten for 7 days. The first day is to be a holy convocation. Do not do any kind of ordinary work, but present an offering made by fire, a burnt offering, to Adonai, consisting of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs in their first year. They are to be without defect for you, with their grain offering, fine flour mixed with olive oil. Offer 6 quarts for a bull, 4 quarts for the ram, and 2 quarts for each of the 7 lambs, also a male goat as a sin offering, to make atonement for you. You are to offer these in addition to the morning burnt offering, which is the regular burnt offering. In this fashion you are to offer daily, for 7 days, the food of the offering made by fire, making a fragrant aroma for Adonai. It is to be offered in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day you are to have a holy convocation. Do not do any kind of ordinary work. On the day of the first fruits, when you bring a new grain offering to Adonai in your feast of Shavuos, you are to have a holy convocation. Do not do any kind of ordinary work, but present a burnt offering as a fragrant aroma for Adonai, consisting of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs in their first year, and a grain offering fine flour mixed with olive oil, 6 quarts for each bull, 4 quarts for the 1 ram, and 2 quarts for each of the 7 lambs, 3 plus a male goat to make atonement for you. You are to offer these in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering. They are to be without defect for you, with their drink offerings. 29:1 In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you are to have a holy convocation. Do not do any kind of ordinary work. It is a day of blowing the shofar for you. Prepare a burnt offering to make a fragrant aroma for Adonai, 1 young bull, 1 ram and 7 male lambs in their first year and without defect with their grain offering, consisting of fine flour mixed with olive oil, 6 quarts for the bull, 4 quarts for the ram, and 2 quarts for each of the 7 lambs, also 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. This is to be in addition to the burnt offering for Rosh Chodesh with its grain offering, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings, according to the rule for them. This will be a fragrant aroma, an offering made by fire to Adonai. On the 10th day of this 7th month you are to have a holy convocation. You are to deny yourselves, and you are not to do any kind of work. But you are to present a burnt offering to Adonai to make a fragrant aroma, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs in their first year. They are to be without defect for you. With their grain offering, fine flour mixed with olive oil, 6 quarts for the bull, 4 quarts for the 1 ram, and 2 quarts for each of the 7 lambs, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the sin offering for atonement and the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings. On the 15th day of the 7th month you are to have a holy convocation. You are not to do any kind of ordinary work, and you are to observe a feast to Adonai 7 days. You are to present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, bringing a fragrant aroma to Adonai. It is to consist of 13 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs in their first year. They are to be without defect, with their grain offering fine flour mixed with olive oil. 6 quarts for each of the 13 bulls, 4 quarts for each of the 2 rams, and 2 quarts for each of the 14 lambs, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. On the 2nd day you are to present 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs in their first year, without defect, with the grain and drink offerings for the bulls, rams and lambs, according to their number, in keeping with the rule, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering, its grain offering and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs in their first year, without defect, with the grain and drink offerings for the bulls, rams and lambs, according to their number, in keeping with the rule, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. On the 4th day 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs in their first year, without defect, with the grain and drink offerings for the bulls, rams and lambs, according to their number, in keeping with the rule, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. On the 5th day 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs in their first year, without defect, with the grain and drink offerings for the bulls, rams and lambs, according to their number, in keeping with the rule, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. On the 6th day 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs in their first year, without defect, with the grain and drink offerings for the bulls, rams and lambs, according to their number, in keeping with the rule, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. On the 7th day 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs in their first year, without defect, with the grain and drink offerings for the bulls, rams and lambs, according to their number, in keeping with the rule, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offerings. Mafti, 35 On the 8th day you are to have a festive assembly. You are not to do any kind of ordinary work, but you are to present a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, giving a fragrant aroma to Adonai, 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs in their first year, without defect, with the grain and drink offerings for the bull, the ram and the lambs, according to their number, in keeping with the rule, also 1 male goat as a sin offering. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. You are to offer these to Adonai at your designated times in addition to your vows and voluntary offerings, whether these are your burnt offerings, grain offerings, drink offerings or peace offerings. 31 Moshe told the people of Israel everything, just as Adonai had ordered Moshe. Haftarah Lachim Alef, 1 Kings, 1846-1921. 1846 The hand of Adonai was on Eliyahu. He tucked up his clothing and ran ahead of Achav to the entrance of Yisrael. 19:1 Achav told Izavul everything Eliyahu had done and how he had put all the prophets to the sword. Then Izavul sent a messenger to say to Eliyahu, "May the gods do terrible things to me and worse ones besides, if by this time tomorrow I haven't taken your life, just as you took theirs." On seeing that, he got up and fled for his life. When he arrived in Beersheba, in Yehudah, he left his servant there. But he himself went a day farther into the desert, until he came to a broom tree. He sat down under it and prayed for his own death. "Enough," he said, "now, Adonai, take my life. I'm no better than my ancestors." Then he lay down under the broom tree and went to sleep. Suddenly, an angel touched him and said to him, "Get up and eat." He looked, and there by his head was a cake baked on the hot stones and a jug of water. He ate and drank, then lay down again. The angel came again, a second time, touched him and said, "Get up and eat, or the journey will be too much for you." He got up, ate and drank, and, on the strength of that meal, traveled 40 days and nights until he reached Horeb, the mountain of God. There he went into a cave and spent the night. Then the word of Adonai came to him. He said to him, "What are you doing here, Eliyahu?" He answered, "I have been very zealous for Adonai the God of armies, because the people of Israel have abandoned your covenant, broken down your altars and killed your prophets with the sword. Now I'm the only one left, and they are coming after me to kill me too." He said, "Go outside, and stand on the mountain before Adonai." And right then and there, Adonai went past. A mighty blast of wind tore the mountains apart and broke the rocks in pieces before Adonai. But Adonai was not in the wind. After the wind came an earthquake, but Adonai was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake, fire broke out, but Adonai was not in the fire. And after the fire came a quiet, subdued voice. When Eliyahu heard it, he covered his face with his cloak, stepped out and stood at the entrance to the cave. Then a voice came to him and said, "What are you doing here, Eliyahu?" He answered, "I have been very zealous for Adonai the God of armies, because the people of Israel have abandoned your covenant, broken down your altars and killed your prophets with the sword. Now I'm the only one left, and they are after me to kill me too." Adonai said to him, "Go back by way of the Damascus desert. When you get there, anoint Hazael to be king over Aram. Also anoint Jehu the son of Nimshi to be king over Israel, and anoint Elisha the son of Shaphat of Avalem Chola to be prophet after you. Jehu will kill whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, and Elisha will kill whoever escapes the sword of Jehu. Still, I will spare 7,000 in Israel, every knee that isn't bent down before Baal and every mouth that has not kissed him." So he left and found Elisha the son of Shaphat. He was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen, he himself was behind the 12th. Eliyahu went over to him and threw his cloak on him. He left the oxen, ran after Eliyahu and said, "Please let me kiss my father and mother goodbye, then I will follow you." He answered, "Go, but return, because of what I did to you." Elisha stopped following him. Then he took the yoke of oxen, slaughtered them, cooked their meat over the wooden yokes of the oxen and gave it to the people to eat. Then he got up, went after Eliyahu and became his servant. Pirit Hadashah Mattityahu, Matthew 26:130, Mark 14:126, Luke 22:120, Yochanan, John 2:13-22, 7:113, 37:39, 11:55-12:1, 13:1, 18:28, 39, 19:14, Acts 2:1-21, 12:3-4, 25:6, 16, 27:9-11, 1 Corinthians 5:6-8, 16:8, Messianic Jews, Hebrews 11:28. Matthew 26:1 When Yeshua had finished speaking, he said to his Talmidim, "As you know, Pesach is 2 days away, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be nailed to the execution stake." Then the head Kohanim and the elders of the people gathered in the palace of Caiaphas the Kohen Haggadol. They made plans to arrest Yeshua surreptitiously and have him put to death. But they said, "Not during the festival, or the people will riot." Yeshua was in Bithynia, at the home of Shimon, the man who had had tzeret. A woman who had an alabaster jar filled with very expensive perfume approached Yeshua while he was eating and began pouring it on his head. When the Talmidim saw it, they became very angry. "Why this waste?" they asked. This could have been sold for a lot of money and given to the poor. But Yeshua, aware of what was going on, said to them, "Why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing for me. The poor you will always have with you, but you will not always have me. She poured this perfume on me to prepare my body for burial. Yes, I tell you that throughout the whole world, wherever this good news is proclaimed, what she has done will be told in her memory." Then one of the 12, the one called Yehuda from Keriot, went to the head Kohanim and said, "What are you willing to give me if I turn Yeshua over to you?" They counted out 30 silver coins and gave them to Yehuda. From then on he looked for a good opportunity to betray him. On the first day for Matzah, the Talmidim came to Yeshua and asked, "Where do you want us to prepare your Seder?" "Go into the city, to so and so," he replied, "and tell him that the rabbi says, 'My time is near, my Talmidim and I are celebrating Pesach at your house.'" The Talmidim did as Yeshua directed and prepared the Seder. When evening came, Yeshua reclined with the 12 Talmidim. And as they were eating, he said, "Yes, I tell you that one of you is going to betray me." They became terribly upset and began asking him, one after the other, "Lord, you don't mean me, do you?" He answered, "The one who dips his matzah in the dish with me is the one who will betray me. The Son of Man will die just as the Tanakh says he will. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for him had he never been born." Yehuda, the one who was betraying him, then asked, "Surely, Rabbi, you don't mean me?" He answered, "The words are yours." While they were eating, Yeshua took a piece of matzah, made a birakah, broke it, gave it to the Talmidim and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." Also he took a cup of wine, made a birakah, and gave it to them, saying, "All of you, drink from it. For this is my blood, which ratifies the new covenant, my blood shed on behalf of many, so that they may have their sins forgiven. I tell you, I will not drink this fruit of the vine again until the day I drink new wine with you in my Father's kingdom." After singing the Hallel, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Mark 14:1. It was now 2 days before Pesach, that is, the festival of Matzah, and the head Kohanim and the Torah teachers were trying to find some way to arrest Yeshua surreptitiously and have him put to death, for they said, "Not during the festival, or the people will riot." Full stop. While he was in Beit-Enia in the home of Shimon, a man who had had tzeret, and as he was eating, a woman came with an alabaster jar of perfume, pure oil of nard, very costly. She broke the jar and poured the perfume over Yeshua's head. But some there angrily said to themselves, "Why this waste of perfume? It could have been sold for a year's wages and given to the poor." And they scolded her. But he said, "Let her be. Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing for me, for you will always have the poor with you. And whenever you want to, you can help them, but you will not always have me." What she could do, she did do in advance. She poured perfume on my body to prepare it for burial. Yes, I tell you that wherever in the whole world this good news is proclaimed, what she has done will be told in her memory. Then Yehuda from Keriot, who was one of the 12, went to the head Kohanim in order to betray Yeshua to them. They were pleased to hear this and promised to give him money. And he began looking for a good opportunity to betray Yeshua. On the first day for Matzah, when they slaughtered the lamb for Pesach, Yeshua's Talmidim asked him, "Where do you want us to go and prepare your Seder?" He sent 2 of his Talmidim with these instructions: "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him, and whichever house he enters, tell the owner that the rabbi says, 'Where is the guest room for me, where I am to eat the Pesach meal with my Talmidim?' He will show you a large room upstairs, furnished and ready. Make the preparations there." The Talmidim went off, came to the city and found things just as he had told them they would be. And they prepared the Seder. When evening came, Yeshua arrived with the 12. As they were reclining and eating, Yeshua said, "Yes, I tell you that one of you is going to betray me." They became upset and began asking him, one after the other, "You don't mean me, do you?" "It's one of the 12, he said to them, "someone dipping matzah in the dish with me. For the Son of Man will die, just as the Tanakh says he will. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for him had he never been born." While they were eating, Yeshua took a piece of matzah, made a birakah, broke it, gave it to them and said, "Take it, this is my body." Also he took a cup of wine, made a birakah, and gave it to them, and they all drank. He said to them, "This is my blood, which ratifies the new covenant, my blood shed on behalf of many people. Yes, I tell you, I will not drink this fruit of the vine again until the day I drink new wine in the kingdom of God." After singing the Hallel, they went out to the Mount of Olives.